Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of 1.6 million children, which we reach out to every day, I welcome all of you to the Mumbai launch of a landmark movement called Feed the Future Now. The movement was initially flagged off by Srimati Menaka Gandhi, Minister for Women and Child Development, along with 9 leading corporates, namely GSK Consumer Healthcare, Facebook, Nestle, PepsiCo, Reliance Fresh, Viacom 18, Big FM, PVR Cinema, and the Lalit Group on the eve of World Hunger Day in New Delhi. We thank all our partners for their immense support for being here today. Today we are honored to have with us Shri Vivek Oberoi, Srimati Sonali Bendre, renowned Bollywood actors, Shri Sanjeev Kapoor, celebrity chef, and Shri Shankar Mahadevan, composer and soulful singer and our goodwill ambassador, who have joined hands with Akshaya Patra Foundation to lend their support to our movement. We are immensely thankful to all of you for taking time off from your busy schedules to support Feed the Future Now movement. While India is making rapid strides and getting on to become a developed nation, there is one area where we are lagging behind, and the narrative of malnutrition in India is well known to all of you. For all of you present here, let me reiterate again, India has one of the world's highest demographic children suffering from malnutrition. Going by the evidence collected over the years, we can tell that malnutrition affects both the body and the mind, especially for a child in the classroom, willing to learn but is unable to. A child may be getting food that fills his stomach, but the food consumed might be devoid of calories, minerals, and proteins. This phenomenon is often called as hidden hunger. Children often drop out of schools to financially support their families. In fact, some time back we did a research in Akshaya Patra. We found out the average monthly income of these children who get Akshaya Patra meal is about 5,000 to 6,000 rupees per month. And the average family size is about 6. So we are talking of about 300 to 400 rupees per capita. How much a pizza costs in Mumbai?
Sonali Bendre, beautiful Indian actress and model. Mr. Sanjeev Kapoor, celebrity chef and entrepreneur. Please also allow me to welcome on stage the esteemed movement partners Viacom 18 and Reliance Fresh. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Group CEO of Viacom 18 to 500 million Indians across all its media assets, and we are delighted as they come bright children in the state amongst us, contestants of Big FM's Junior Golden Voice Contest. May I have the audio? May I request the guests to be seated? Thank you.
Very happy to be here, honored in front of all these dignitaries sitting over here. My association with Akshaya Patra has been for the last 5 years. The minute I came in contact with these people, in 10 seconds you come to know the intention of what these people are all about and what they mean to do in their lives, and it was just unbelievable. When I started off as a small little fragment as part of Akshaya Patra, the dream was to feed 2 billion children, and that already happened. The dream is already fulfilled in 2016. Now the next dream is 5 billion children, which is definitely going to happen in 2020. I would just request the media to please write about this, because I think this is a fabulous, fantastic organization, something that I have never seen in my life, and neither would any of y'all would have. I've gone and visited the kitchens personally. It is not only about just feeding the children, it's how to implement it. How do you implement feeding 1.6 million children a day? And if I'm not wrong, I'm not wrong, because for the last 17 years, they have not missed out on a single meal going to a single child. So that's a great achievement. So it is not only about cooking the meals and how is it delivered, how are the logistics handled in case of a rain, in case of a disaster, in case of traffic jam, how do these vans reach in time to these schools? All this is thought of, because this organization is backed by people like Sridhar and his entire team. These are people who have left their jobs in very, 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 what can I say, big companies. I think, Sridhar, you were in Wipro, isn't it? Cisco, yeah, one of those. Yeah. And he was a big man there, and he's left, and people like this are selflessly working. The kids are extremely happy. The food is very, very nutritious. It's still a fight trying to get Akshay Patra into every city, but I feel that every school in this country where a midday meal is necessary, it should be with Akshay Patra, because I think it's just an outstanding organization. I wish them all the very best. And
good morning, everyone. I keep saying that we all use the phrase Mera Bharat Mahan, or we say Jai Hind, Bharat Mata Ki Jai. We say these words very often. Every time we feel a slight surge of patriotism, every time we feel like, I want to prove that I'm as proud of my nation as the other Indians. But if we could only convert them from words into action, if we could only live Mera Bharat Mahan, if we could only live Jai Hind, if we could only live Bharat Mata Ki Jai, we would be in a much greater India. I think Akshay Patra is one of those organizations that's been living it. I've seen them very closely for many, many years now. Just to give you an understanding of how difficult it is what they do. About 9-10 years ago, we started a smaller operation in Vrindavan, running schools. I think some of you know about them. Rescuing girls from child prostitution, rescuing girls from forced labor camps, rescuing girls from physical abuse. And we started one school, then we started another school, then we started a third school. Today we have 3 schools and almost 2,000 kids studying there. But what's most important is that every time we asked people कि भाई आपकी बेटी को स्कूल भेजिए, हम पैसे नहीं लेंगे, they still wouldn't say yes. जब हमने कहा कि आपकी बेटी को हमारे स्कूल भेजिए, हम उसको खिलाएंगे, पिलाएंगे, उसकी देखरेख करेंगे, उसकी दवाइयों का खर्चा हम करेंगे, उसके कपड़ों का खर्चा, उसकी किताबों का खर्चा सब हम करेंगे, अब तो भेजिए. And basically the primary driver was, आप बेटी को ले जाइए, लेकिन जो हमारा लल्ला है, जो बेटा है, वो भी साथ में आएगा खाना खाने. And it was almost like negotiating a deal with people from a village, because the schooling was so far behind, especially schooling for the girl child was so far behind in their list of priorities that it was almost impossible to convince them. Today, 14 villages where no girl ever went to school, say 10 years ago, 14 villages don't have a single girl that doesn't come to school. I think that has been an achievement through continuous perseverance and dedication. In our own little organization, I think when we're talking about 5 billion meals, we're talking about what, 500 crore meals, right? Am I right? In our own organization, it's taken us 10 years to feed 2.5 crore meals, which I used to think was, we've achieved something, we've done something big. And then I look at Akshay Patra, and then I look at what they're doing on a daily basis. It's truly commendable. I went personally to see their kitchens, and I think Indian Institute of Management में एक course रखना चाहिए या एक chapter रखना चाहिए on how Akshay Patra functions. Everything from working, liaising with the government bodies, being able to bring that same amount of money that's subsidized, whether it's the subsidized wheat, the subsidized dals and vegetables that they have to buy from the markets, bringing that onto the table, raising funding for it collaboratively, then executing it extremely efficiently, with extreme efficiency. I've seen the kitchens, I've seen how sanitary they are, how hygienic they are, the quality of the food. And what people don't realize is, हम farmers की इतनी बातें करते रहते हैं. Wherever there's an Akshaya Patra kitchen, they've collaborated with local people. They've collaborated with local villagers. Local villagers supply the vegetables. Local villagers supply the little things that you require. And that goes into enhancing the local economy of the place. I also know that they manage to somehow keep the food fresh and hot, despite the fact that some of their vans travel for almost 100 plus kilometers as a hub and spoke model. So I think it's a great exercise in itself. I mean, you look at it more from a social or spiritual context, it's beautiful. But when you look at it from purely a management context, I think it's an exceptional example of, bang to buck. You invest this much, and then you see that little investment, that little contribution actually converting into so much more. I've seen personally I've seen over the last 8-9 years over our project, which is called Devi in Vrindavan. I've seen what it was like when girls came in malnourished, where their hair was brown. They were like a dhancha of bones, like a skeleton. Can you hear me? Can you hear me at the back there? So I've seen what girls are like when they come in completely malnourished. And I've seen what just 3 to 6 months of food that nourishes them. जो कुपोषण से आती हैं बच्चियां, जब उनको ठीक ठाक खाना मिलता है, the transformation is unbelievable. So I want to thank Akshaya Patra, and I also want to pledge here today. I don't want to come here and just give words. I want to pledge here today any kind of support, financial support, support as a celebrity, support as a karyakarta, working with you people. Would be my honor and my privilege. Jai Hind.
Good morning, good afternoon. I think it's 12. Lovely to see you all here, and lovely to hear everybody also. It's been an enlightening morning for me, or can I say enlightening few weeks for me. I had never heard of this organization, let me be really honest. When they came to me, they came because supposedly when celebrities endorse a cause, it gets you more media attention. And media, why do you need us to get you attention for such good causes? But I believe that is needed. So when they came to me with that, I was like, this is a fantastic foundation. Why do you need me to do this? I mean, everything about it just speaks for itself. And, what am I going to add to this? But I think what I'm taking away from it was this organization was meant to come into my life because it gave me knowledge. I came to know about something that is working beautifully, which is doing such an amazing job. And I think I'm grabbing this opportunity with both my hands and saying, media, I hope you talk about this and we talk about this cause. And I'm taking this opportunity to say, I'm glad I discovered this. Though you've been working for so many years, my bad luck, I have never heard of it, but it's never too late. I've heard of it now. It's fantastic work. And like Vivek said, anything that I can do, I'm with you. It's fabulous work. It needs to be supported. And my friends from the media, please, we need to support people who work like this, organizations that work like this. I really commend and congratulate all be it PepsiCo, Nestle, Viacom, Lalit, Big FM, GSK, Facebook, everybody. Fabulous initiative. I'm so happy you're all a part of it. In my own small way, I would love to be a part of it. Mr. Sridhar, amazing, amazing job. Eye-opener and completely bowled over by it. I don't think I need to say anything more. Just say, please support this foundation. Let's all pledge support to it. www.feedthefuturenow.org. Very, very important. Let's go in there. They are not asking for big contributions. In whatever way we can, let's contribute to it. Let's feed the future now. As a mother, I know what they mean when they say that if a child does not have a nutritious meal, the child is not going to get educated. And a cause that's very dear to me and which I've always said is that we want to build colleges, we want to build big institutions, but there is no point in having fabulous colleges and we have great people from IIT coming out and etc. What we in India need to look at is our primary school education. Till you don't have that in place, it doesn't matter whatever else that you do. As a parent, as a citizen from India, what they're doing is at primary level, which is the basic level and which is truly where it is really, really needed. So please, guys, support this organization. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you, Ms. Bendre. Now,
थैंक यू, गुड आफ्टरनून. जब से काम करना शुरू किया है, लोग कहते हैं आपने बहुत कुछ अचीव कर लिया है, ये किया आपने, वो किया, बहुत कुछ किया. But every time, every few years, I realize that there is something. I remember we did one of the largest festival in the world in Russia, and we were catering about 160,000 people every day. And we thought, इतना काम, इतने खाना खिलाना लोगों को कितनी बड़ी बात है. Then I catered for Kumbh Mela. Kumbh Mela में इलाहाबाद में संगम पे, and for years I thought, wow, feeding these people was fantastic, and we are talking about 3 million people there. वो जो पहले वाला था, that was for 7 days. Kumbh Mela was for 30 days, and here we are talking one, not something that we say that ये हो जाएगा, कोई और कर लेगा, पड़ोसी करेगा, ये हमें ही करना पड़ेगा. There is no one else, and we are what we eat. If we don't eat, we are not there. So imagine if that is happening in our country, we are responsible. So if we want to make sure that हम लोग बहुत सारी चीज़ें करते हैं, हम श्राद्ध के बाद में खाना खिलाने के लिए हरिद्वार जाते हैं, पता नहीं कहाँ जाते हैं, जो जिंदा लोग हैं उनको भी खिला लें. I think there is so much that we can contribute, there is so much that we can do. From nutrition point of view, I know that जिनके पास खाने के लिए कुछ नहीं होता ना, तो उनके लिए nutrition तो बहुत बाद में आता है, वो चावल में नमक डाल के खा लेते हैं. But naturally, there are many things, the latent hunger that we say, and it's prevalent in country like ours. And if it is right at the top, मतलब हम बहुत सारी चीज़ों में, we are world's largest producer of milk in the world. We are number 1 in farming. We are number 2 in the world. अगर इतना सब कुछ है, फिर भी हंगर है, तो कुछ हम में ही कमी है, तो उसको ठीक कर लेते हैं. And I'm sure that with your help we can achieve that. और मैं क्योंकि सब कह रहे हैं तो मैं भी कह देता हूँ कि कुछ समय से जुड़ा हुआ हूँ, और it's been very fulfilling. I've been saying हमने कुछ अभी फंड रेजिंग अक्षय पात्रा के लिए यूएस में कहा था. मैंने कहा मुझे नहीं पता कि मेरी वजह से क्या हुआ है, क्या फ़ायदा हुआ है. मुझे बहुत फ़ायदा हुआ है. I can, and I'm a selfish person. मैं अपने फ़ायदे के लिए ये काम कर रहा हूँ. So let's all be selfish. फ़ायदा होगा, ये मेरी गारंटी है. Thank you.
and I would also request our friends in the audience to please stand up for the same and repeat after me.
One second. Please,
We pledge to support. Request you to please repeat after me. We pledge to support the Akshay Patra Foundation for this initiative to endeavor to make it a mass movement and to significantly reduce hidden hunger by serving 5 billion meals by 2020. Thank you. May I request the guest, after the photo op, to please have a seat. And then... Yeah. Mahadevan. Can we have a round of applause, please? Thank you. To meet key global nutrient milestones, governments and donors need to triple their commitments to nutrition over the next decade to ensure school-going children don't drop out due to direct and indirect impact of malnutrition. To add impetus to this message, and before we open the floor for the media queries, may I please invite Mr. Sandeep Talwar.
फुल फ्लेज क्वालिटी डिपार्टमेंट है. हमारा जो हेड ऑफ क्वालिटी है वो 6 सिग्मा मास्टर ब्लैक बेल्ट है, उसका क्वालिफिकेशन. और हर किचन में 2 क्वालिटी ऑफिसर्स हैं और सारे मेजर किचन्स में फूड लैब्स है और क्वालिटी लैब्स है जहाँ चेक होता है खाना. जो गवर्नमेंट रेकमेंडेड गाइडलाइंस है उसको हर रोज चेक करते हैं हम लोग और हर रोज बच्चों से फीडबैक आता है. There's a daily feedback mechanism and we keep correcting. So children say that we like this meal, so we try to incorporate that. So all our kitchens meet nutritional norms which are prescribed by the government, and anybody is free to walk into our kitchen and check those data.
अच्छा, एक चीज़ मैं क्वालिटी की बात आपने करी है तो मैं बता देता हूँ. हम लोग पिछले महीने गूगल में, मतलब दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी कंपनी है, दुनिया की अल्फ़ाबेट लार्जेस्ट कंपनी, वहाँ पर खाने पे बहुत महत्व दिया जाता है कि खाना बहुत अच्छा होता है, सब कुछ होता है. सो वी वर इनवाइटेड, वी वेंट देयर, दैट वाज पार्ट ऑफ अक्षय पात्रा फंड रेजिंग टूर दैट आई वाज डूइंग देयर. तो वहाँ पे हम गए, किचन में हमें इनवाइट किया उन्होंने. तो मैं वहाँ पे उनके शेफ़ से उनके क्वालिटी के बारे में पूछ रहा था कि किस तरह से मॉनिटर करते हैं, क्या नहीं करते हैं. सो यू विल बी हैप्पी टू नो कि अक्षय पात्रा के क्वालिटी पैरामीटर्स, जिस तरह से जो चीज़ें होती हैं, जितने मैंने टेस्ट किए, वो सारे गूगल की किचन से ज़्यादा थे. सो वी आर टॉकिंग दोज काइंड ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड्स. इंडिया की बात छोड़ दें.
एक चीज़ मैं और भी पूछना चाहती हूँ कि महाराष्ट्र में कौन कौन से जगह पे आपके सबसे ज़्यादा स्कूल्स में दिए जाते हैं, वो थोड़ा महाराष्ट्र की.
महाराष्ट्र में अभी फिलहाल नागपुर में किचन शुरू किया है. 5000 बच्चे को हर रोज़ खाना मिलता है. और थाना में करीबन अगले 1 महीने में नया किचन शुरू होगा 5000 बच्चों के लिए. और काफ़ी सपोर्ट मिल रहा है हमें गवर्नमेंट से और किचन्स खोलने का. We are a public-private partnership. So 10 rupees is my cost of meal for last year. 60% of that comes from the government, union government and the state government in the form of grain subsidy and cash subsidy. And 40% is what we raise. So if you're feeding million children every day, we need about 50 lakh rupees every day to feed these children. You see, what happens is we are a very service-oriented, low-profile organization. You would have heard that many of the celebrities, they said, we haven't heard of Akshay Patra. Now, what happens is, if, let's say India has got 500 million adults, if 1 in 100 decides to feed a child, we can triple our reach in just few months' time. Okay? Now, for this, awareness is required. And in Akshay Patra, 93% of what the donor gives goes to the program, to the child directly. Now, so we don't have much money to spend on advertisements. All this thing, what you're saying, are all coming from support from Viacom, Facebook, Google, all the celebrities here. So awareness is extremely important. So that's how we reached out to celebrities like Shankar, Vivek, Sanjeev, Sonali ji, okay, and all the corporates. Because we alone cannot cater to India. Who are we alone? Unless all of us join hands, we can't solve this problem. And this is the biggest problem the country faces. If you ask me, which is, GDP is not our big problem. Biggest problem of India is hunger. Okay?
I think what's incredible about Akshay Patra, and I like to repeat what he says, that when I work with a lot of global organizations, and I've seen that their administrative expenses go from between 25% all the way to 60%. So on every rupee that you donate, sometimes even 60 paise goes towards administrative expenses. Just to give this perspective, 93%, that is 93 paise of every rupee going physically to the cause, is a 1 in a million achievement. There must be 1 in every million NGOs non-governmental organizations who are able to achieve this efficiency. This scale of efficiency on such a large model is very, very difficult. So the idea is to come out there. In fact, I've been talking to Sridhar even before this event, saying that, whatever I can do to come on board, create more awareness, use digital media, social media. And ever since last 15 years, I've been doing, associating myself with different social causes and seeing phenomenal results, impact. And one of the phenomenal results that I've seen is that there are millions of people, youth, from not just India, but across the globe, who get inspired and they reach out to me saying that I heard you speaking at this forum, or I heard your interview, or I watched you on television. I want to associate. I want to be a part of it. Guide me how. And it's just a step of linking. So it started with fundraising to educate girls. And this is a much smaller financial commitment. It's only 5 rupees. That cost is a lot more. And yet we have a situation where sometimes we have less number of children and more people interested in donating and educating them. Young people who say, okay, it just cost me this much. It cost me 80 rupees, 70 rupees, which is what I spend on a cup of coffee in a cafe. Let me go out there and give her 3 meals, food, education, healthcare, everything as a package. So like that, I think a lot of people will come forward for Akshay Patra. And once we raise the awareness, I'm sure people will respond.
Well, first I heard of it as an event happening. I said, what is this event? I don't do too many of them. Then, of course, all the details came to me. And I was traveling, a lot of things happening. You know, you're so caught up in your own life. And quite frankly, it was literally towards the end of last few days that I actually got involved, because I had a lot of other things going on. Sat with my team. I said, what is it? No, what is this event that you're talking about? What is this? And then I came to know what they're talking about. I said, my God, this is amazing. When you read through it, what they're doing, it's very obvious. A lot of people come to you with a lot of causes. It's kind of fashionable to there are a lot of causes that keep coming and everybody's associated with 100 other things. But I do try as much as I can that, do whatever you can to find out and actually like what you're doing and then get associated with it. And this is what it was. What you read and what you saw told you that, my God, this is not just some event. This is an amazing cause. In my life, I've always said it's the small things that matter. And this is what this was. When you associate with causes also, it's not about the bigger picture. There are a lot of people here. I will never be able to do the bigger picture, and probably I will not achieve and ever be able to solve all the problems that are there. But what do? Do I, for that reason, don't lift a finger? Doesn't happen. We all have to do what we have to do in our own way. It doesn't have to be big. It needs to be small, and it needs to be regular, and that's all it takes. Also, what I really realize is all of us human beings are very happy and willing to help. Most of the time, we are not aware. Most of the time, we think, ye pata nahi kidhar jane wala hai. Actually use hoga bhi ya nahi. We are a little cynical about it. So if I can come out and tell you that, guys, I can be cynical also, but here I believe, and I've seen and I like what I see, and I would like to pledge my support. Please, you should also pledge your support. Because I'm not asking for something big, a huge chunk of time, a huge amount of money. It's about something small. But the fact is that little small, coming from everybody, can turn into a huge movement and can solve a big crisis. And that's what is the reality of all our lives. It's the small things that matter. And here, it is a small contribution that matters. And that's why here I'm requesting, I pledge my support. I hope you do yours too.
मेरा आप सभी से सवाल है, अगर आप लोग सामने यहाँ पर लेफ्ट साइड,
That's Jyoti, right? Jyoti from Zoom.
From Zoom. मेरा सवाल ये है कि हाल ही में आपने पढ़ा भी होगा और न्यूज़ भी आती रहती है कि मील जो सप्लाई होते हैं कई गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स में, उसके इफ़ेक्ट पड़ते हैं, अच्छे नहीं होते हैं, जिसकी वजह से बच्चों को एडमिट करना पड़ता है, बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं, लेकिन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कहता है हमने अच्छी मील्स दिए हैं, सप्लाई ठीक नहीं हुआ. तो आप लोग कितने केयरफुल होते हैं जब आप किसी से सपोर्ट लेते हैं और जब जाते हैं उन्हें सप्लाई करने के लिए, तो क्या बीच में ऐसी चीज़ें, क्योंकि आपने सुना ही होगा कि इंडिया मोस्ट करप्ट सिटी के लिस्ट में नंबर टॉप पर है और बहुत सारे करप्शंस होते हैं, तो किस तरह से आप लोग डील करते हैं और किस तरह से प्योर जो फूड है वो पहुंचता है?
जब बिहार में 21 बच्चों की मौत हुई थी, तो गवर्नमेंट ने अक्षय पात्र को अप्रोच किया था कि जो मिड डे मील वर्कर्स होते हैं उनको ट्रेन करने के लिए. सो अक्षय पात्रा इज द ऑफिशियल ट्रेनिंग पार्टनर ऑफ गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ऑन द मिड डे मील स्कीम. सो बैचेस आफ्टर बैचेस वी ट्रेन मिड डे मील वर्कर्स. ये हमारा काम सेंट्रल किचन से बच्चों को खाना देते हैं हम लोग, पर एज अ सोशल इनिशिएटिव वी हैव बीन डूइंग दिस. सी अक्षय पात्रा का वन ऑफ द कॉर्नरस्टोन प्रिंसिपल इज what if the mother had resources, what kind of meal she would have given to the child? We try to give that meal. We can't replace mother's meal, but we want to ensure that it's hygienic. Okay? So जो vessels जिसमें खाना बनता, practically खाना untouched by human hand होता है अक्षय पात्र में. तो जब तक स्कूल में डिलीवरी होती है उसकी, तब तक practically untouched by human hand होता है. और फूड ग्रेड वेसल में खाना बनता है, खाना पहुंचाते हैं, और जब बच्चा उसको खाता है तब करीबन 65 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड टेम्परेचर होता है खाने का. और अभी हम लोगों ने इंसुलेटेड वेसल्स में भेजना शुरू किया है, उसके कारण और कंजम्पशन बढ़ गया है. सो फूड सेफ्टी, अगर आप बोलो टॉप गोल क्या है, जीरो फूड सेफ्टी इंसिडेंस इज अवर फर्स्ट गोल इन अक्षय पात्र.
थैंक यू.
मैं एक चीज बिल्ड करना चाह रहा था आपके सवाल पे जनरल, कि हम ना कई बार बहुत क्रिटिकल रहते हैं हमारे देश के लिए कि बहुत करप्ट, सबसे करप्ट देश है, सबसे ये है, सबसे वो है. देखिए बहुत सारी चीज़ें हमारे देश में भी अब बदल रही हैं, और होता क्या है कि जो आपको एक करप्ट कहानी सुनाई देती है वो बहुत फैलाई जाती है, वो सुनने में बड़ा सब लोगों को मज़ा आता है, वो बहुत मज़ेदार कहानी होती है. लेकिन एक करप्ट कहानी के पीछे 100 ईमानदार कहानियाँ हमेशा होती हैं. उनको ज़्यादातर वो क्या होता है, वो बोरिंग कहानियाँ मारी जाती हैं, उनकी कोई बात नहीं करता, उनको कोई सुनाता नहीं है. सो ऑलवेज बी प्राउड ऑफ द नेशन इंडिया इज in 70-75 years of democracy what we have achieved, America had also not achieved, let me tell you categorically. So I think we are on a very good path. There is a lot to be done. It is not to say there is not lot, there are no issues, there are no challenges, they are all there, but that's why we are all there. We have to try and solve them in our own little way.
Thank you, Mr. Vats. We enjoyed the generosity of our hospitality partner, the Lalit. And before we close this event, request all of you to please do collect the delightful snacks put together by the Lalit. Feed the Futures Now hospitality partner. Thank you all for a wonderful show, and hope to see you all contribute towards making our country a Poshit Bharat, Shikshit Bharat. We will have the one-on-ones out.